Hi Best Buds, it's Cathy with Cathy's Garden, and I'm so happy that you've joined me today. This is a stacked envelope tag folio, and I'm going to show you how to make a base so that you can make yours. Now, I have made mine in a fall theme, fall and bees, yellows, browns. Maybe you'd like to make yours in Christmas or eclectic. That would be cute too. So let me show you what this is all about first, and then I'm going to show you how I put this together, and then all you'll need to do is decorate yours. Won't you join me? So let's open this up and see what this is all about. We made these altered paper clips in a video not too long ago, and I decided just to pop that on the front just for some extra decoration. Sari silk closure, and my Sari silk is from Crimson Heart Studios. I will link her shop down below. So it is permanently attached, and right away we have a little flip out right here. And then our very first envelope, and it flips out like this. I have a pocket here with a piece of ephemera, and I have another tag right here that you can journal on, and it fits right at the top. Over here we have a small little envelope and another piece of ephemera in which you can journal on, and that pops right back in just like this. Opening this up, we have another little piece right here that flips out, and we've got a side loading pocket on this one. It's just like that. And you could definitely journal on this portion of it. Just a little decoration here. Over here, so we keep going one side, then we go another side, then we go another side. We've got another side loading pocket here with this tag inside. A little more decoration. Then we've got a pocket just like this on this one. So just pop these in here like that. And here on the top of this envelope, let's open it up this way. We have a very large journaling card, and it fits right in the top, like that. Then we have another pocket here with another journaling card. So lots and lots of pockets and tags and journaling cards. Here we've got another little tuck spot. And then this flips out like this. And we have another little pocket right here. Whoops, looks like it's kind of glued together. There we go, right like that. And then here is the back, and I just put a small little journaling spot right here. I love this little thing. So there's lots of flips, and there's lots of tags, lots of things going on. It looks like it's complicated, but it really is not. Now I'm just gonna set this aside. This is what I used for the base of mine. It's a piece of file folder, and it's 5 3/4 by 7 1/4. But maybe yours is going to be a different size. Also, you're going to need some different size envelopes, and you're going to need 6 of them. So all of mine have been coffee dyed, so they look just like that. Now, this one I don't have to line. This one not lined. Okay, none of these need to be lined, but this one right here, you probably would want to line this right here. Now I am going to line mine later. This one actually opens completely up, so it's going to be easy to line. But if yours don't open, like yours are still intact like this, you might want to line yours. I think it would be a little easier to line them when they're out like this rather than when they're all together. This will determine the size, actually I should say, The envelopes will determine the size of your base. So I'm going to have mine maybe something like this. I'm not sure yet, but just to give you an idea, how are you going to come up with the size of your base if you have different envelopes than I have? And you probably do. So I'm not going to say, well, what size envelopes each one of these are, because you're going to have different size envelopes. You could use junk mail envelopes. That would work just fine. You could use stationery envelopes, colored envelopes, even digital envelopes, one that you print out and then you fold up, ones that you make yourself. That would work too. I think this one, yes, this one right here, I made this envelope myself, so it was not a pre-made envelope. If you make your own envelopes, what we should do is, I've actually marked mine so I don't get too confused. I have this as 1R. So I'm saying R being the right hand side of my base. So 1R right here. Where is my 2R? Here's 2R. I think I'd like to put this one next. So maybe something like that. You're just going to combine them so that they're a little different. I could bring this one all the way down like that, or maybe I'd rather put it in the middle and put the whole thing in the middle. There's so many different ways in which you can design your envelopes. So maybe this is dark, so I kind of tend to want to put it at the bottom. So I'm actually going to do that. Now I'm not going further out, top or bottom, with my envelope, meaning I'm not going to put my envelope like that. I'm going to put my envelope so that when I turn it over, all my envelopes are within the base that we're going to have. All right, so that's the right side. I'm not even sure if that's what I want yet, but you get the idea. Now the left side, I'm going to maybe put this one, and then this one, and then this, so that it fits maybe something like this. Now, when we put it together, we're actually going to alter our envelopes, like maybe that one, and then this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. So it's altered. So they're not all the same. You're not going to flip all of the right and then all of the left. You're going to alternate. So they will alternate opening up like this. It just adds a little bit more interest. And here, I think I'd rather have this up and maybe this down like this. All right. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Now, when I made mine, I went ahead and I'm going to paper clip this, covered the back. And I actually covered both sides, but I found out after I made mine, I decided that you're gonna cover this up anyway. So what I put there, I've already covered up. So you don't need to cover this side of the base, but especially if you want to sew, like I sewed around the edge of mine, you can cover the back side, and then you'll be able to build on this, because all your flaps are going to be on this side. None of your flaps for this project are going to be on the back side. See how smooth this back side is? There's no workings on the back side at all. It's all on the inside. And you can't see now that it's on the inside. I just think that is really special. Now, I did get my inspiration, the artsy bohemian. That's what she calls herself. Lots of other people have done this too. So I'm putting my own little idea on it. All right, so this is my left side and this is my right side. And I actually wrote 1R, 2R, 3R, just so I will know the order and what side of my base it's gonna go on. Let's put together this one right here. So I'm gonna move my paper clip down here. So as you can see, all of the flaps to the envelope are all together, just like this. All of them are all together. So what we want to do is we want to take the very first flap, turn it down, and then the second flap, that's where we're going to take our glue. You use whatever glue that you wish. And I'm going to add my glue to the flap. Just like that. And then glue it down. Now the third envelope, I'm going to add my glue to the flap and then glue this down. So all of the flaps in this group are glued down together. I can remove my paper clip and it looks just like this. Okay, so now we're going to need to glue these together. I'm just going to open this up like this. Let me double check that that's not too tall for my base. It's not, because this one's taller than this one. And I'm going to add my glue onto the second flap right here. And then close this and get that glued together. Making sure you're not gluing it all together. You're just gluing the flaps. Adding the glue. Now we have our left side and our right side all glued down together. And then here is my base. I'm actually going to cover my base because I want to finish this off. I actually think I might want to do this one in a Christmas theme. So let me grab some Christmas paper. Here's my paper pad paper. And let's see which one. Ooh, I like this one for my back. Now I'm choosing to use paper out of this paper pack, the Paper Studio Cardstock Vintage Christmas. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this beautiful paper onto my base. It's probably overkill on the glue, but I'd rather have too much glue than not enough. And I'm also going to sew it, so I probably didn't need to put the extra glue on there. All right, so I'm going to get this down. I'm going to cut it out and I'm going to sew around the edge. All right, so I got my base and I've sewed around the edge. Now that's optional. I just decided to do that just because I like the look, so I went ahead and did it. It is not something that you have to do. I also have my Sari silk here, and I'm hoping this is enough to tie around the edge, but I'm kind of thinking that maybe it's not. So I think I might want to splice my Sari silk together. All right, so now I have two pieces that are the same color, and I'm going to find the center. Okay, right along here. I'm just going to draw loosely about where I want to place my Sari silk. I'm going to be using my Elaine's tacky glue for this, and I'm going to apply it, this piece right down in that glue. Okay, and what I'll probably do right here where it's joined together is I'll take a piece of ephemera and I'll just glue it on there so that it won't be noticeable. All right, so that is glued on. Next, what we want to do, I got to turn this over. Hopefully everything will be fine. I put my tie on now. It just will be less bulky. It's much flatter now, as opposed to the way it's going to be in just a few minutes. Now this I've marked right, so this is going on this side. And remember, don't worry that it looks like this now, because you will be covering this portion. And then this one is going to be left like this. So let's get this all glued down. I'm actually going to switch to my art glitter glue, and I'm going to add a generous amount of glue on my flaps of my envelopes that we have glued together. Like this. And we want to place this on the edge of our base. Okay. And open it up just to make sure it's nicely glued down and that all of these open up easily. Nothing's binding. Okay, so we've got that down. Next, we're going to go with our group that we have marked left. And we're going to add our glue to the flaps of this as well. Generous amount of glue. And then pop it right on the edge of your base. And then open it up just to make sure everything is opening well. This is where you're going to want to cover this portion of your envelope. So because I have used my selection of Christmas paper, I think this might actually, yeah, I just need to trim off just a little bit more and then I can glue that on right in place. If you want this too to be sewn around, this is cardstock. So I could actually cut it to fit, trim it, and then take it to the machine and sew around, then glue it on. You can't take all this craziness and try to run it through your machine. So let me trim this and then I'll show you how that looks. I am going to take my vintage photo and I'm going to ink up right here before I glue my piece down, just so that if anything peeks out, it will be inked up. And it's less likely that you're gonna like notice that it's maybe a different color. So I'm just gonna ink it up like this. Now I'm gonna have this fit on here just like that. Oh, that's going to be adorable. Do I want it this way or this way? No, I think I want it this way. And I'm going to remove my little stickers from my flaps of my envelope. And I'm going to use my art glitter glue. Actually, I think I'm going to glue this instead. Popping this down where I'd like it in place. Now you need to make sure that you're still able to close this without binding. Ooh, it's pretty close. Yeah, okay, that was pretty, I was kind of nervous there for a minute. All right. Oh, isn't that really cool? All right, so now it's gonna go here, 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 and here. This is where you're gonna need to decide. Do you want a top loading pocket here, or maybe you want a side loading pocket? I'm kind of thinking maybe a side loading pocket. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim just a little smidget, little tiny piece off, just like that. Now the reason why I wait, I did mine differently when I made this one. I trimmed it first and then I glued them in place. And I decided that it was really better to, once you kind of see how it's going to lay, where do you want your pocket to be? Now I can straighten that up. That's a little crooked, but you can straighten that later. I think I'd like a top loading pocket here. Now, my stuff is still kind of glued down here. I should have used hot glue. This is why I use hot glue and not sticky glue like that. I'm going to do a top loading pocket here. So I'm going to just take a little bit off, just like that. Now, don't worry if it does that, because you're going to be covering this portion up. But now you have a side loading pocket and you have a top loading pocket. And what I mean by you're going to be covering that portion up, so this is an envelope here. You can tell that that's an envelope. I covered the back up. That's where it was taken out like this, and there was the flap was over here, but that's where it was out like this. I just covered that up. Now you still have a pocket inside, but you've covered this portion up. So you still are going to have a pocket here, but you're covering this portion right there. So that's what I mean by don't worry about it if it's like that, because you're going to be putting your envelopes back together with different papers on the side, except for this one I did not. It's a glassine envelope. I used a glassine one, and I left it so that you could see, and I didn't cover it up. So that's where I just kind of put the ruffle. And it was a big enough envelope that you're not going to struggle to get things in and out of the pocket. Whereas on a smaller one, you would struggle trying to get things in here. So I just, like this one, I made a pocket there on the top. So I hope you're kind of understanding what I'm trying to say, in the fact that you're going to be covering this portion up. So as you go along, so this is a side, this is a top. I think I might want another side right here. So I'm going to take this side of this envelope off. And if you are maybe a little more organized, and you can, decide, you can cut these before you glue them all together. I just found that it seemed to be a little easier for me. Well, I didn't do it this way the first time, but once I cut them, then I was like, oh, I wish I kind of would have made it a little different. This way I can see it a little better and interact with it before I actually decide, do I want a side loading pocket or a front loading pocket? Oh, this one totally came apart, but I can glue that right back together. I think I'll just paper clip it for now, because this is the one that I need to cover the inside. It'll be so much easier to cover that inside if I don't glue this down. All right, so we've got a side. Okay, let's go from here again. We got a side, we have a top, we have a side. That's pretty close to the edge. Yeah, we have a side there. I'm gonna do a top here. So I'm gonna take the top out of this one. This is that coffee dyed paper that got in the rain when I was drying them, and all of a sudden it started raining and it made these cool little marks on the paper. I just think that's super cool. All right, there's a top loading one. And then here, I think I'm gonna do a side loading on this one. So you have all kinds of tuck spots, and then you can also make more pockets here if you want, or journaling area. But you just alternate like this. And then of course, when you get all finished, you've already got your tie already in place, and you just tie it up. I hope this video has been helpful to you so that you can make a base of a stacked envelope tag folio and make it your own. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.